well. So it's pretty easy to set this up and actually teach young kids these few drills. And, like I said, you can do it any place you really want. My intended audience for these drills, these are pretty much similar with anywhere from junior high through college. All coaches at all those levels teach these drills. There's just different variances between each level, but for the most part, these are great drills for junior high through the college level. So drill 1 is what I like to call the hip swivel, and it's real easy. Basically, you'll instruct your young kids or your middle-aged kids, high school level, to get down in a stance, a defensive stance. And I would think at this point by junior high level they would know a defensive stance as far as being a cornerback or a free safety. So basically what you want to do is get down in your stance right here, have a good base right here, make sure your knees are bent, and you're focusing on your opponent ahead of you. Now usually when you're teaching this as a coach, you'll have a coach behind you, you'll have a coach in front of the kids, showing them how to weave in and out with the ball. And for these purposes, I'm going to talk to you, the camera, and the camera guy will be my guide for me. So basically the hips look really easy. You want to start with your base right here. When the coach says, set, go, you want to go like this, keeping yourself low, then you just want to grip in and out. This is a quick type of drill. This is actually just so you can get comfortable getting in your stance and staying low. So, one more time, really easy. Like I said, as I said before, the coach is going to be guiding you with the ball back and forth. And when he guides you each way, you want to swivel your hips and stay low in your stance. So it's just like this. That right there is called the hip swivel. Next drill I will show you today, it's called the 90-40. We're going to work on 90 and 45-degree angle breaks. The first one I'm going to show you is the 90. This one's real simple. Basically, all you want to do is, again, you're getting down in your stance right here. Imagining you have a defender, or imagining you have an offensive player or receiver right in front of you. When the coach says set, go with the ball, you want to break back. And when he points this direction, you want to break like this 90 degrees. That right there is a 90-degree break. Next one I'm going to show you is the 45-degree angle break. And then what we're going to do after that is we'll combine the 90 and the 45-degree angle breaks and put those together. So the 45 is basically when you're coming out of your 90, you're backing up, you're coming 90 like this, boom, open your hips up right here, swivel on those hips, what we worked out with that first drill, and right here, break the 45 degrees when you're having the offensive player on your hip, same with them on your arm. That right there is a 45-degree break. Real simple, you want to work on your hips, popping those open at a 45-degree angle, you're stepping, 45, right over here, the offensive player, keeping them on your hip, just defend the pass. Okay, so with that said, we're going to combine the 90-degree angle and the 45-degree angle and put them both together. So here's an example. Again, getting down at the defensive stance, we got our defender, or we got our offensive player in front of us. Coach says go, we're backing up, we're staying down and holding our stance, then we're breaking 45. So all the top of our heads open, breaking our 45-degree angle. So, real simple. I'm going to show you that at full speed now. These drills, especially the 90 and the 45-degree breaks, you can go half speed at first, but eventually you want to take your kids into a 90-degree, 45-degree angle breaks at full speed. This is how, these type of breaks work during a game type atmosphere. So here's the 90 to 45-degree angle breaks at full speed. Okay, that does it for the 90 to 45-degree angle breaks. Our last one has to do with pass coverage and reroute. Basically, this is the press coverage skill right here. What we're going to do is we're going to ask my helper, Mr. Jason Orders, to come in right now at this point. He's going to be my offensive player. And basically, in press coverage, you want to have your offensive player. So Jason's the offensive player. He's the receiver. I'm the defensive back. In press coverage, usually in press coverage you want to have, you institute press coverage when you're either in a goal line situation or it's a real short yardage play where the team needs to get a first down. That's when you'd institute press coverage as a defensive coach. So what I would instruct my athletes to do at this point is to split the offensive player, split them in half with your front foot. At this point you want to get down in your stance, and depending on how close the play is also going to depend on how close you're going to stand to your offensive player. So we're on the goal line right now, so I want to be up real close to the offensive player and be ready to do what I call a reroute. Now, a reroute is basically something that is going to screw up the timing between your offensive player, which is your receiver, and the other offensive player, which is who's throwing it to the ball, which is the quarterback. A reroute is pretty simple. Basically, you want to take your offensive player. Once he comes off the line, he's going to come off the line. I'm going to reroute it this way, just enough so it's going to screw up the timing between him and the quarterback. And as I said, this is a short yardage play, so if you can do that successfully, you're going to be able to screw that up and hopefully knock the ball down or not even get a pass in that direction. So, in press coverage, quarterback's over here, we're eyeing him right off the bat, then we're looking at our offensive player right here, making sure we got our hip stance right here, we're splitting him in half, and ready for him to come off the ball and get that reroute. So Jason's going to come off the ball, I'm going to get that reroute, and then I'm going to stay right here on his hip as he's going out. This gives us the opportunity as defenders to stay, once we're on his hip, to stay away, to stay on the ball, knock it down, or make a play on it and maybe intercept the ball as well. So, we're going to go through a little bit full speed right here. One of the other things I wanted to touch on as far as press coverage goes as well is where you line up. Now, if you line up right here in press coverage, yeah, you might be able to take away his outside, but if he's a smart receiver, what he's going to do is he's going to get a break from the line on you, break inside. And then, by that time, he's got inside, they got an inside look on you, and they're scoring a touchdown. So, when you're in press coverage, as I said before, you want to be directly in front of whoever you're defending, especially if you're the outside quarterback. Now, say if I'm in here, same thing. Jason can get a release off the line without me being able to reroute him, and he's scot free into the end zone. The quarterback is going to do that, especially if there's a smart receiver quarterback. So, like I said, it all matters on where you're going to line up, how you're going to be able to make the play on the ball. You want to stay right under the defender, right, split him in half, right in the middle. So when he comes off the ball, you get that reroute, and then he wants to continue on a route this way. You're right on him, have your hand on his hip. So that brings us to a close of this. Those are 3 defensive back drills that I think are extremely important for junior high through college level. It's good to institute these before practice, before defensive practice as a warm-up, but you always want to continually use these throughout the season just to keep your players fresh in mind, make sure they're breaking correct on the ball, and make sure they have that press coverage and how to defend the goal line clear in their head throughout the season. Again, these drills are meant to focus on footwork, using your body to reroute players, and also learning the different breaks as a defensive back that you go throughout the season. So again, Luke Gordon, thank you. Hopefully this works out.